Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of Kpsn. Our halls and classrooms are feeling a little empty this week as we adjust to the exit of the class of 2022. However, our senior athletes are ever present on the fields and courts as we head into the postseason. The KP track team came out with an impressive performance last Saturday during the Hockomock Championship meet. The team had many standout performances. Noah Hurd earned first place in the 800-meter race with a time of 1:59, and that is just the start of this long list of top 3 and top 5 performances. The boys 4x400 team took first with Nate Gebhardt, Noah Hurd, Luca Gardini, and Colin Mahoney managing to beat out the other teams. On the girls' side, there were many great performances in several races and in the shot put event, mostly placing in the top 5.
So we ran at the Hockomock Championships on Saturday. It was moved up to 8 a.m. because it was a bit hot outside. The weather cooperated. Everyone ran pretty well. I personally ran the 800 in the 4x4. Placed first place in the 800. It was my first time breaking 2. Was very excited for that. 1:59.5 to be exact. 4x4 we went out, took care of business. Everyone ran really well. I personally split a 51.8, which is my new 400 PR. So glad about that. Double gold. It was just an exciting day all around.
Even though we had some extreme weather to deal with, the team excelled and is looking forward to the divisional matches. We would like to give a huge shout out to freshman Austin Cannon, who had a personal best in the 100-meter with a time of 34:79, beating his previous time by almost 2 seconds. Austin has been training extremely hard this season and his tenacity is paying off. Coach Kramer said he was an inspiration for the entire team as they watched Austin improve throughout the season.
Let's go, Austin! There you go, Austin. Stay low, Austin. Stay low. Let's go. Push it. Austin joined us in the spring this year for track, and it was, an interesting to get started, making sure everything was going right and everything like that. And we had him working on several different events. He did the 100 meters. He did the shot put. He did the discus this season. He qualified all the way through the league championship meet to compete in all of the different events that we had. We went to the freshman sophomore meet. He competed there and did well. And our goals for next year, we were hoping to get into like the divisional meet and qualify up through states. So it ends up being that he worked really hard. He really enjoyed doing the stuff with Coach Courtney and the throwing team. They always helped him out and encouraged him and pushed him. He liked doing the weight room stuff. We got him doing some of the lifting and core and all of those things that go along with our training. I think he had a good time this year, and everybody enjoyed seeing him work hard and improve. His last meet, he actually threw his furthest and had his best time in the 100 meters, so that was a great way of finishing the season at Hawks at home last Saturday, so it was a great season.
Back in April, Austin was having some trouble with his chair alignment that was causing some frustration. The man pictured in the green t-shirt is 23-year-old Daniel Romanchuk. He has previously won the Chicago and New York City marathons twice, and both the London and Boston marathons. He won the gold medal in the 400 meter at the Tokyo Olympics, and he was the winner of this year's Boston Marathon. He is one of the best wheelchair racers in the world, and he stopped by KP on his way to the marathon to give Austin a hand. Austin, thank you for your dedication to success, and we can't wait to see where you take your already impressive career. With another week under their belts, the girls' softball team is still on fire, picking up another victory, adding on to that already big number in the win column. They beat Franklin on Monday in a blowout win, 10-1. As the girls wrap up their season, they have had some star players leading the way in this historic season. On the offensive side, Liv Petrillo is leading the team, batting a .447 with 21 hits and 17 RBIs. Close behind Liv is sophomore Taylor Reagan, who is batting a .426 with 26 hits and 14 RBIs. On the defensive side, sophomore Jordan Bennett is ranked the second best pitcher in the Hawk. Jordan has struck out 81 batters and only allows an average of 1.3 runs per game. The girls are finishing up their regular season tonight at 4 p.m. in Bridgewater, Raynham. The postseason is sure to be full of fire for this team. Our baseball team had a big matchup against their rival Franklin this week, but unfortunately they did not come out with the win. The game was tight at first, but Franklin jumped ahead and the boys just couldn't regain any momentum against this tough Panthers team, falling 16-5. Captain Sean Legier had a great game with 2 base hits and a few RBIs, and we are hoping to see that fire today as the team focuses on an important game against North Attleboro on the road. The last time these two teams met, it was an extra innings battle that led to a KP loss. Hopefully the boys can get a big win against North Attleboro because they need some momentum before the playoffs, which are scheduled to start next week.
Right now we're 12-7. Could have a few more wins. We lost quite a few games by 1 run, but overall pretty successful. Having Tommy Materano go down at the beginning of the season wasn't great, but he's back now, ready for the playoffs. We've had a pretty good hitting year. We've put up some of the most runs in the league, so looking forward to the playoffs, and we have one more game on Friday against North at Community Field.
Our girls lacrosse team is currently 9-1 in divisional games and 13-4 overall. They are currently second in the Kelly Rex behind the #1 Franklin team. The girls honored their 9 seniors on Monday and went on to beat North Attleboro 19-3. The team currently has 222 goals on the season, and goalie Emily Campbell is allowing an average of 3.17 goals per game this season. She has 37 saves and a .500 save percentage, which is the best in the Hawk. The team has one final game before the playoffs, facing off against Weymouth on Tuesday, May 31st.
After game,
The boys lacrosse team took a very tough loss on Wednesday, losing 13-2 against a tough Norwell team. However, the boys have a firm hold on second place in the Hawk behind Franklin, who remains undefeated. The boys will finish their regular season at home tonight against Medway at 6 p.m. They know what they need to do to win and are hungry for some momentum to carry them into the playoffs.
Let's go!
The boys tennis team had a huge win over Severian on Wednesday, beating them 4-1. This spirited squad is amped for the postseason.
Hopefully we can get to the second round of the playoffs because we got knocked out the first last year. Let's hope we do good. It's all just time, effort, and just lots of good fun. And we will destroy, and then we will do so good. It's just that awesome. That's what team is made of. We're awesome people, ready to have fun and win.
The girls tennis team won back-to-back matches against Franklin, beating them handily in both competitions 4-1. This team has worked through a lot of challenges, and they have a great outlook on what will hopefully be a successful run in the state tournament.
All we had to really do was just come out strong and play how we usually play. And we had to disregard all the losses that we've had throughout the season, which I think were 4 or 5. But I think that we just had to focus on what we wanted to achieve because we knew that Franklin was above us, above everyone in the Kelly Rex. So we're there are only competitors in this race to be first in the Kelly Rex. So we just have to focus on that one goal and try and beat them. Our first and second doubles won, which is really good because our first both of our second dubs is their first time playing on varsity, Carly and Priya, and they played really well, and they were down a lot in the second time that we played Franklin, and they were able to climb up and beat them. Our first singles, they played really well. They both understood the fundamentals, and they were able to just get the job done. We're just really focusing on on ourselves and seeing what skills we can do to improve our game. We're not really worried about other teams. We just need to focus on ourselves and just focus on little things that we can fix, and maybe looking back at how we played and trying to see what weaknesses that we can point out when we play different people, and just practice every day, I guess.
The volleyball team has a positive outlook on the playoffs after hitting a tough losing streak to finish out their season. This team has kept optimism alive throughout the season, and they are ready to surprise some more opponents with their tenacity as they head into the tournament. The elite Miami defense could not stop the Boston Celtics on Wednesday night, as the C's came out with a huge win in Game 5, putting them ahead in the series 3-2. The Celtics came out extremely slow in the first half, missing most of their shots and appearing unmotivated. Even one of their best players, Jason Tatum, had not scored until late in the second quarter. Thankfully, the energy shifted after halftime as they turned their momentum and outscored the Heat 32-16 in the third quarter to pull their lead further away into the double digits. Al Horford and Rob Williams kept the defense locked down while Tatum and Brown put the points on the board. Jaylen Brown threw down a monster dunk in the fourth quarter, ultimately sealing the deal for the Celtics. Brown had the game of his life, showing his scoring ability from the three-point range as well as in the paint. The Heat were unable to find the power to help them close the gap against this fired-up Celtics team. Game 6 is tonight at the Garden.
I just don't think the Heat can keep up with the Celtics. With scoring 80 points, just something you can't do, especially in the Eastern Conference Final game. I think Jimmy Butler's very overrated, shooting 4 for 18 when you're known as like a superstar. You just can't do that.
I think they just need to keep the turnovers down, and as you can tell, you can look at the stats. When the Celtics aren't turning over the ball, they're blowing out every team. But you could see in that Milwaukee series when the ball was getting turned over every other possession, they couldn't win. And it's even this series too. They're turning the ball over too much, and it's giving Miami too many chances. So I just think you keep the turnovers down, the Celtics will be playing for the NBA Finals.
We have a lot of Warrior teams ready to make some noise in the state tournament. Our athletes would love to see you out there cheering them on. Playing sports teaches us many life lessons and creates lasting friendships and unforgettable memories. We're going to leave you with some interviews with our class of 2022 as they reflect on their King Philip careers. We'll be back next week with all the updates.
Through my time playing golf at KP, I've learned a lot, especially with life. Our coach, Miles McHugh, is a great coach. He's a big military veteran. He still works with the military and the Marines, and he's taught us a lot about doing the right thing when nobody's watching, making sure you're always doing the right thing. And it really helps in golf because it's a game of integrity.
Some life lessons I learned was working hard and outworking everyone, because people are putting more work in than you're not going to be the best.
I've played hockey and lacrosse throughout high school. Yeah, I've met some good guys that I'll be friends with forever because of tight bonds on the teams. Work your hardest, and then especially just if you work, put your mind to something, you're gonna achieve success as long as you don't give up on yourself.
I play mainly right wing for all 4 years of my high school hockey career. I actually went in thinking I was going to play defense, but that didn't really end up playing out for all my 4 years. And then in track, I do a bunch of events since I do the pentathlon and the heptathlon. That's 5 and 7 events in one day. So it ranges from all the jumps, high jump, long jump, triple jump. Then I even throw a little javelin and shot put. And then my main running events are the 200, 400, and then I also run 800 and some hurdles sometimes, so it's definitely a mix of everything, which is kind of what makes me most interested in the sport, because I never really get bored. I always have something else to work on and something new to look forward to.
KP Sports is probably the best 4 years of my life. Made so many friends, lots of memories. Going up to Mattapanai in the summer with the whole football team, there's nothing else like it. You have a great time up there with your friends. The teammate bonding, you're like brothers after that. And all 4 years, great experience. Playing KP football with Coach Lee taught me what hard work really is. Getting up at 5:30 in the morning, even when you don't want to. Get into the gym, getting a good lift in. It really teaches you to work hard and be determined, because if you don't work at what you want, then you're never going to get what you want.
I had a great time. My 4 years at KP. It got a little messed up. We had COVID, missed a couple seasons, and I had a really bad knee injury that made me miss a couple more seasons. I came in playing 3 sports, basketball, football, and lacrosse, and due to COVID and my knee injury, I ended up playing none my senior year. But I still had a great time for my 4 years. I did play a little bit my senior year in football. I came back and played on the Thanksgiving Day game and the Super Bowl, so that was pretty awesome. But I made all my close friends through sports over the years and through high school sports, and overall just had a great time being a Warrior. The team camaraderie and everything that came with it, all the pasta dinners and all the bonds I built, and I just had a great time.
Volleyball has taught me through the years to not procrastinate. It's helped me a lot with time management, and especially because it is a fall sport, it's helped me start off each school year with a good set of friends built in already. A special moment that I have from playing volleyball is probably my senior year. when we played Franklin in the last game of the regular season. I just remember their whole entire student section was cheering against us. My whole student section was cheering for us. I had the sidelines cheering for me when I was serving. It was just like a really great moment of being like a student athlete in high school, having your team, like teammates pick you up and all that. We did end up losing, but it was a great game and I enjoyed it. And then we ended up going to semis and states, which was just an awesome experience overall. That was definitely worth it for my 4 years. Being a volleyball player within the last 4 years, I've learned how to be a captain. I've taken things that upperclassmen have said to me as an underclassman to heart, and as an upperclassman now, I really took some underclassmen under my wing, or I just really enjoyed their presence overall, like Ahuna James, Emily Sawyer, Sammy. I really enjoyed it, and especially because I was able to learn that responsibility of being captain and being able to talk to the younger kids, like freshmen, sophomores, juniors. I just thought that was really important.